Welcome to Redvee's Instant Reaction, supported by Chapel House for the 2023 season, following Saints' 32 points to 18 victory over the Huddersfield Giants here on Super Sunday. It's a game that we never really looked like losing until all of a sudden it was 20 points to 18, Dom.
Honestly, well, I said to Stu Maguire before the match, if it's a 12-point win, then I'll take that, no problem, because they're coming off back of 4 straight wins, and it was building up to be a tight game. First half, we thought in the first 20 minutes, I thought we did well. I thought we slowed the ruck down, controlled the ball, George Delaney piling it in, here we go. And then it's kind of 7 minutes before half time, kind of wheels fell off, and from then on, it was. And then in the second half, again, we started well in the first 2 minutes, and then I was looking in the second half, the total and utter ruthlessness, given the fact that they had 12 men, and it was just really bad.
Was it a case of, did we look like we just switched off? When they went down to 12, when Joe Greenwood gets sent off, did it almost look to us like we thought the game was won and we just stopped playing?
I thought the attitude seems, at the end of the day, we're on a shoestring, aren't we? We've got so many injuries, and so you've got to look at it positively sometimes, moving into the business end of the season. But let's not forget, you've still got the spine of our team. You've got Lomax, Dodd, you've got Roby, Wellesby at full-back, Morgan at 13, and against 12 men, I would hope there's enough experience there to be able to engineer space and find gaps. So when you're playing against 12 men, whenever I was told, suck them in, keep the ball inside, get some quite quick play of the balls, and then go wide quick and find where the space is. And for some reason, whether it's they're not doing that or they're not doing something else that they're being told by the coaches, but the inability to create space against 12 men, and then considering they created space, it looked like they were the men who had one extra. And that, for me, is a main concern. Because
we seem to get dragged into a forward battle, and we really didn't need to in that game.
No. And actually, when you look at the performance being poor, quite often a poor performance is on the back of poor forwards. But today I thought the likes of Delaney, Matautia did take it up, and the mistakes were across the park. It wasn't necessarily in the forwards. And so when you've got that possession, you're looking for the spine of your team, and the backs, Percy, Makinson. There's a strength there with Wellesby coming round on the outside. You'd think against a relatively weak, poor team, there's some clever plays in there, but I mean, Jake Connor had a terrible day, had a really off day. And so you'd expect to be able to engineer more. That's my issue. However, I did make this observation a couple of days ago with a few other mates. This year, my expectations with Saints are all, but with a lot of Saints fans, we're always expecting perfection. We're expecting good rugby, and this year we're going to do it differently, aren't we? If we're going to win, there's no reason why we can't, but we've got to be able to look at it differently. We are not going to win the grand final playing St Helens out and out lovely rugby. We're not. We're going to do it with a grind and hopefully build some momentum, keep getting these 2 points, get to the business end of the season, and then anything can happen. Because unfortunately, the likes of Catalan and Wigan are playing better, more expansive, creative rugby and scoring nicer tries, what we would say were Saints tries. So I think at the business end of the season, my expectation is we're not going to win the grand final playing fantastic rugby. We're going to win it
like 2014
by the grind and building pressure and sticking to a process, whatever that process is.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what that is today. When Matty Lees and George Delaney are on the park, different game.
Yeah.
When they're off the field, and listen, we've got obviously massive injuries. We've got loads to come back in. We lack that go forward. It was only when they came back on at 2018, last 10 minutes, that we seemed to get back on the front foot. I thought we looked good down the right hand side when Batch came back up. Joe Batchelor came back into the team.
Yeah.
He's a real plus for us. I think he's so underrated, if that's the case. And Sione as well, back in today, did well. But again, obviously players coming back from injury, we did look like we tired in that early second half spell. And
it's been a hodgepodge, hasn't it? Like, it's been a hodgepodge of teams.
When was the last time we picked the same 17? back to back. I don't think we've done it all
That's
year.
what I'm saying about the Specky's attitude this year has got to be different. We are not going to win this with a consistent 13, 17 on the team every week and building a style of play. We're just not going to be able to do it. It's going to be. I mean, the fact that we've got Delaney coming in. The fact that we've got Delaney coming in, he's looking like our enforcer at the moment.
This isn't a green screen, this is a real flag.
Yeah, Delaney isn't looking like the youngster. He's looking like the next James Graham, if I'm honest. And so, looking at it positively,
if the whole squad was fit at this current time, you'd have him on the bench every week coming on.
And you've got to be realistic. Look, the amount of injuries that we've got, experience with Parsi, with Alex, with Jake Wingfield. We've got so many people out that we're going to have to do it a tough way.
I didn't say this on the Redvee TV show this week. I've got a sneaking feeling we're open to get Jake Wingfield back at the end of the year. I came down to the members' day on Wednesday, and he was doing a lot of fitness work, one-on-one. Obviously, he's had his shoulder surgery a few weeks ago. Now, it was always going to be touch and go whether he's back for the end of the year. I don't watch them train. I don't know what the fitness regime is when you're coming back from injury, but the amount of work that was being put in one-on-one with him makes me wonder whether there's an outside chance, and if you can get him back for the playoffs.
Well, I'll mention three names. If you get him back, you get Belly back, you get Batch putting a few games together, then you get Cyril back, all of a sudden that looks like a totally different team. And
I think the important thing is, it's just, as you say, the grind over these next few weeks. By hook or crook.
I hate using that word, by the way. Apologies.
Yes, but I said it, I think it was it Leeds last I was here, and then obviously we played Salford. The way our games are going to go for the next few weeks they're going to be 6 to 10 point games generally. We're going to have to struggle through, but get the points. As long as we can finish, I'd say top 3, but you'd like to finish in the top 2, get a home semi. You've got a chance.
We've got to avoid that poison chalice. The chalice of going to Catalan,
which is fourth.
We've got to avoid that. But then again, I do think we've got, out of the top 4, out of us, Pieters, Lee and Catalan, we have got the easiest running.
Yeah. And I think a few of them have got to play each other as well.
Yeah. And so when you look at it like that, we're going to do it dirty. There's going to be maybe a few games like that where it's just get the 2 points. Because at the end of the season, if we get to the semi-final, home semi-final, people will forget this. They'll forget games like this. It's just one of them games, you just flipping get it in the bag, 2 points, done. We can moan all we like, but let's just get to that semi-final, and then the crowd will be behind. Hopefully we'll get some proper good bodies back, and people will forget today. So,
one positive today, I thought Lewis Dodd did well. I thought he varied his kicking. We scored a couple of creative tries off the back of them. Yeah. He got himself on the scoreboard. Yeah. I think fans need to get behind a little bit more.
Yeah. It's easy to point the finger at certain individuals. I'll go back to my original point about the spine. And for this reason, I'm avoiding that about talking about Doddy. I'm not sure he had a fantastic game, but I think collectively, him, Lomax, Wellesby, and Morgs, and Robes as well, when he goes off, it makes such a difference, Robes at 13, with him on the pitch. As soon as he went off, people are screaming, get him back on, which sounds ridiculous for a lad who's 37 years of age, wherever it is.
That said, I don't think... I think I said it last week, Moses and a step up on Joey Lussick.
Of course, yes.
We don't lose as much when Rogue's off.
I won't say he's a step up. I liked Lussick. But anyway, I think he's a welcome addition. However, going back to my point about those 5 should be able to engineer space against a team like Huddersfield with 12 men. And that's my concern, really. Because against the likes of Wigan, where they've got 13, it worries me slightly. But it comes back to attitude and belief, really. You know,
I think we've seen enough over the years to know that we can step up in the games.
We will step up.
A couple of, I feel like Huddersfield shot themselves in the foot a lot today. Perfectly good hit on Joe Greenwood. The Huddersfield fans want chant off, and Joe Greenwood smacked out in the tackle and gets himself red carded. Hands Saints the advantage.
Are you talking about when I thought at one point when he went into collision? I thought he lifted his elbow.
I was side on. He looked all right. I think he's been sent off with the retaliation, and then later on, it's little bits of dissent, and it looked like Ben Faylor just wasn't going to stand for it today. And Saints took advantage, kept the discipline decent.
Yeah.
Didn't give them many stupid penalties like we sometimes become guilty of.
like I said, they've got some clever players. Huddersfield.
I think Chris Hill was on a one-man mission to take people's heads off today.
I think after half time as well, I think that was probably the mandate. Start mixing it up, and hopefully we'd retaliate and potentially get one sent off as well. One thing I will say, I've got to say for Sam Halsall was telling Joseph earlier, when he was his age, he was on the buses with us with the Gerard Arms. His dad Dave's a massive Saints fan, a good friend of all my circle of friends. He died too young, and I thought Sam Halsall, it was lovely to see Sam Halsall, albeit playing against Saints. He's an up-and-coming star, he's a big lad, he's quick. I thought he had a fantastic game, so shout out to Sam Halsall today.
Joe, before we go, enjoy it?
Yeah.
Chance to get over here on a Sunday?
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Who's your man of the match?
Well, James Roby played well,
He did.
but I think it was a good decision that Paul Bellin chose Tommy Makinson.
Tommy Makinson, hat-trick hero. 9 tries for Tommy against Huddersfield this season. A defence he likes playing against.
Yeah, but I don't think he'd be thinking about that tonight, will he, really? We're just thinking about thank goodness for that. So, yeah.
Right, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and we'll catch you during the week for the Redvee TV show. Catch you soon.